We're live. We're live.
There you eat.
What's going on, Jared? How are you?
Not much, mate. Good, man. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad, man. Not bad.
Another day in paradise?
Yeah, has Tim finished up his stream yet or what?
I don't know. I didn't watch it. Was I supposed to?
Don't know. Just let me check. So what's Tim Wilms? Wilms from?
Tim Wilms.
He's got so many channels. Hang on.
Hey, bless you.
Oh, thank you, mate. Thank you.
Don't go get one of them COVID tests now, will you?
He's still alive.
Still alive?
Yeah. He's gone overtime. Fuck you, Tim. Fuck you, man. 8:30, bro. The cutoff.
Eddie's in the chat.
Is he in?
Eddie's in the chat, yeah.
Right, man. What's going on?
Hello, howdy.
You look nice, Andy. Where you going? You going
Yeah,
on some shit?
No, I'm just showing off this T-shirt I got from my sister. This shirt.
That's a nice shirt, mate.
Yeah, it's all right.
I'll tell you what would make that shirt look better.
What?
A big, thick beard.
Oh, yeah, upset.
Oh, you had a shave, man.
I should have.
No, I'm not upset. You look good, mate. You look good.
So you're leaving yours, yeah?
My beard, yeah, that'll be there till the day I die, I reckon. Or it goes grey, whichever comes first. Yeah, no, I got a 6-year-old girl. She's never seen me without
it. Food falls into it, though.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. It's got to fall somewhere. Saves my clothes.
Hey, Jared,
it's a good point.
Like really fucking retarded, bro.
Hey?
Your internet's really retarded.
Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, you look like a stick figure and shit.
Oh, really? Sorry,
man. You look
man.
like a character out of Minecraft.
I don't know. I might have to,
Yeah, you look like 1996. What's that computer game? The famous one from 96? Doom or something. You look like that.
Yeah, I'll have to. Well, is that my internet, is it? Because I definitely can't get 5G, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's your internet and shit. Yeah, bro, $400. I don't know if it'll come through. I don't know how it works. I checked how to check super chats. But I think cheers, man.
If I buy a better camera, will that help?
Nah, I think it's your internet, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, what computer do you have? It was a phone.
He has a
no, it's an Ace, whatever Neil told me to buy.
Well, it's actually buy, not the Ace, the other one. The Ace was.
Yeah, but they didn't have that. So I rang Neil, and this was what we settled on. But it was only cheap, $500 or $600, you know.
I upgraded my phone like 6 months ago to the iPhone SE, and so things look good. But I think my older one was a 6S or whatever, and that looked pretty shitty.
Actually, I was just on a Zoom call with Nick Patterson, and that was perfect. So maybe my phone is better than my computer.
Who's Nick Patterson, man? Who's that dude?
Nick Patterson, he's a MMA fighter from Cranbourne and a Know Your Rights activist, a freedom activist from Melbourne. So he has john8.net website, which has a lot of templates that explain to you, your rights and how to deal with these lockdown situations. So shout out to Nick. He's a very good man, and he does it all.
I think I spoke to him once.
He's a good man, and he was a very good fighter. He was a professional MMA fighter for Australia. He had 36 fights or something. Signed for the UFC, but the UFC wanted him to drop, a ridiculous amount of weight in a few days, and he was already on the verge of retirement, so he hung up his gloves. But he's one of Australia's best. Yeah.
So, Nolji, what model agency are you working for
now? Like anti-corona agency, if there is one. That'd be nice.
Hey, we got on for a reason. Like, I hate being in the middle. It's weird. How come we're all that profile?
It looks like we're all squashed in like we're spooning. It's kind of funny.
That's better.
That's better. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I think the other way was funnier.
It's too. It's like we're in prison. Like where you were and shit. Like we're, stuck behind bars and shit.
Yeah, I'm used to it. So what's going to happen if nothing's lifted on Sunday?
I don't know. Apparently, some people are getting the shits. I don't know what's going to happen.
Another protest or something?
I don't know, man.
I'm sure people will do something. It's you know, it's getting to that point where people have enough. So I'm sure somebody will do something.
Yeah, and it's pretty crazy if not much happens on Sunday, but he'll probably drop the 5K thing, and I don't know. It's still pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't even know if he's going to drop that.
That's
to be honest,
really,
it's like fully gay now, man. This
yeah.
All right, what are you guys going to do next year if we're still in lockdown?
I'm never in lockdown. I've been in lockdown the whole time, so yeah, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Right, yeah.
I don't do shit, yeah. So odd jobs here and there, but it's not really affecting my life. But going to Melbourne's a bit of a bitch sometimes. But I try to stay away from Melbourne. How's it going for you, Nolchi? How's work going? Good?
Fine. I'm just straight back into just normal things.
Nolchi works for Westpac.
Good old Westpac.
Yeah, I'm a banker.
Yeah, you look like a banker. That shirt, you could definitely pull it off.
You say I'm a banker and shit, and they think
I'm a full-on evil. I'm an evil banker, big time.
Did you have something to do with Blair's account being banned?
Nah, when that happened?
Yeah, so you probably weren't. Yeah, a little while ago, Westpac had to leave his bank accounts or some shit.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
He works for another bank.
Yeah, I remember hearing that, yeah. So what should I do, or what should everyone do, if you keep on getting your Facebook banned or your YouTube and stuff? What do you reckon we should do?
I reckon we wait till the left tears the system down. But then we rise out of the ashes like a phoenix.
Mm.
We've got no friends. The Liberal Party are cucks. They don't care for us. Every chance they get, they denounce anyone like us. Sky News are basically controlled opposition, in my opinion. Not all of them, but the majority of them. We've got no institutions that are paid for or supported by our government. We've got no chance of gaining any traction when we can be banned off Facebook or the news can just smear us constantly. So I reckon just wait till the left tear shit up and then we'll see what happens then. I think. We're just wasting our energy, bro, if you try and build something.
Yeah, that's what's so annoying because it just gets cut. Yeah, it just gets deleted. But it's just I don't know. Maybe they want us to just give up. So it's maybe we should just not give up, even though we can never really get massive followers because they just keep on deleting us.
No, but it's not giving up. It's being strategic. Why waste your time? Why get arrested? And why, stuff your life up to make no gains? It's all about making gains. There's another route we can go down, but it's not going to be what we want. I think the system needs to break, and it's going to break soon, I think. So I think that's our best bet.
So,
What say you?
I'm just going to continue. I don't know. It's just annoying when you set up a whole YouTube channel and it takes ages to upload shit, and then you just have to do it again. You're like, oh, well, that's pretty shit, and they're just going to delete it again in 6 months.
Hey, Nolch, let's go on an alien hunt. I want to catch some aliens and shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
Can we get abducted and shit?
I want to. I seriously, there's a place. I know a place where we could see stuff possibly.
Where?
I know something that'll help us see stuff.
It's not far. It's not far from Warragul. It's seriously not far from Warragul.
Yeah, I want to go and try and find aliens and shit. That's my next mission and shit. Because I believe that there is some form of interdimensional aliens, or there's too many stories.
I think that's the thing, but I think they're interdimensional, not interstellar, bro. I think there's more.
I think it's all the same. I don't think it really matters.
Nah, but I don't think they're flying here. I think they're just
they're probing dudes.
They are. They're anal probing people.
What else would you do here?
They get good information from the arse. The arse has good information. It's like a dog. A dog sniffs an arse for information. But there is potentially a secret underground base somewhere north of Warragul.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, serious. And
a cave and shit.
No, it's they usually make them like under mountains. So it'll be this spot would be cool to go there and just watch this mountain at night and see if anything funky happens.
Have you seen that Jesse Ventura episode where they drive under the Ozarks?
Yeah,
And they drive
those
into
are,
that. Yeah. So, something like that maybe.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been looking into a bit of it, but it's always been a hobby of mine, looking into these alien instances and shit. I'm not a nut, but I do look into it a bit, and I think it's a good hobby. And Nolchi seems to know his shit. Didn't you travel around Australia talking to some alien dudes and shit?
Yeah, man. I just think it's like so interesting. It's the only thing that can keep me like going. Like you don't get bored of it as like a subject, you know. It just keeps on going.
Hey, do aliens look oriental?
I reckon, from what I've been looking into, there's a full-on Asian-looking alien.
So do you think, Nolchi, that they're flying here or that they're traveling through dimensions to get here? Do you think the DMT accesses aliens?
I think DMT might access like interdimensional ones, but there's definitely ones that are just like on other planets that are flying here and shit.
You reckon?
Yeah.
Hey,
that's more of a stretch to me. But what? You're gonna leave to have a smoke?
I haven't got my vape. It's broken.
Can't you carry your computer? Like,
yeah, that's not gonna happen.
Nah.
Just leave it. Oh, you could have just left it.
He's gone. That's all right. We can have a big DMT discussion, Nolchi. That's because Neil won't be taking that anyway. So you're talking my language now.
All right, let's talk about your best experience on DMT.
Mate, I have not tried DMT.
Pretend like you're on Joe Rogan.
I haven't tried DMT, bro. I haven't tried DMT yet.
What? Okay, what about you've tried ayahuasca, yeah?
No, I've only had one. Man, I know. Tell me about it. So I've had one really good trip. It was acid. It was the start of COVID, actually. So I had a few when I was younger, never done much. Then when I was young, I took some party drugs for a while. Nothing, mate. Always smoked cannabis, but never really done much, psychedelics. So, like learning about it through Joe Rogan and such, I wanted to try it. So we tried acid, me, my brother, my wife, and his partner, and it was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. It was, like when people say it's one of the life-changing experiences, it was definitely that. So we had group hallucinations, which to me, if 3 or 4 people are witnessing one thing, that makes it a reality. So we've seen some real shit. So it was very interesting.
So what'd you see?
It started with shadows dancing on the wall. So there was a vase with flowers in it, and when I say dancing, I don't mean a little bit. I mean fucking dancing, man. Like it was really dancing, And my wife noticed it first, and she said, "Can anybody else see that?" And as soon as I looked at the wall, I said, "Are you talking about the dancing fucking shadow?" And she's like, "Yeah." And then it went from there. So that's how it started. I ended up I was on the carpet, looking at the carpet for an hour and a half, and every fiber of the carpet, I could see a universe. I was like, it was crazy. So it was, so that was my one and only experience. But I'm definitely interested in one day trying again. Yeah.
So anything else happened besides that?
Plenty, man. Plenty. Yeah. I could tell stories all night. So my wife had to go check. Oh yeah. No, there was lots. I won't go into too much on the podcast, but it was a wild night. But definitely.
So you found some good quality, because it's hard to find stuff that's not weak. Acid that's not weak.
Yeah, well,
we're talking about drugs.
Yeah, man, because you left. What did you think we were going to talk about when you left, bro?
I was outside having a smoke. I'm like, what are they talking about? Probably drugs.
Yeah. LSD, man. I've only had one experience, but in full disclosure, I did then try experimenting with microdosing after that, which also enjoyed thoroughly. So never enough.
How was that?
That was great.
What'd you notice?
A lot more creative, a lot more motivated. I managed to get a lot of shit done. So one day I did take a little bit more than I should have. I had a bit of a funny day, but apart from that, low amounts, never felt it.
I took an acid-based Eki once, but it didn't do much.
Oh, wow.
I didn't different.
Nah, different sort of thing. It's like I said, we live generally a pretty clean lifestyle, obviously running a gym and all that, we train regularly. So, but that is something that I would do again not regularly, but definitely a couple more times. Yeah, because that was interesting.
How long did you microdose for?
A couple months on and off. Yeah, definitely.
So
weeks to 2 weeks at a time. We would do 4 days on, a couple of days off, and yeah, I'll probably go back to that one day too.
Yeah, I tried microdosing mushies, and it just like for me it made like coincidences happen, like synchronicities happen and stuff, and it made me like just find out like obviously my IQ must have gone up, but like I could think heaps better, I could find out things and stuff like deep information. So it was
Yeah.
like it was kind of like a red pill, but like it was like whoa, like every day and stuff because it was just a little bit every day. But like I didn't. Yeah, so it was just yeah, it was pretty interesting. Like I definitely after it was smarter than what I was before it. It was like, whoa, that was a wild 2 month period,
And I think you're better off. I think you're better off with mushrooms and acid being more natural. I think that's a better option. It's just not an option I had at the time.
Yeah, so, and mushies when they made acid, they just made an artificial version of the mushie. So yeah, so it's like it could be just as safe as a mushie. I don't know.
And that's what a lot of people forget to take into account and realize when they talk about the history of the history of psychedelics, in that being a hunter and gathering society for thousands of years, we gathered magic mushrooms as a food source, and then we look at the Bible and all these visions and totally exclude the fact that magic mushrooms were a staple part of the diet in that region, so yeah, it's what they've done throughout history is overlooked because of the Ronald Reagan drug epidemic. That was such a tragedy that that not only got rid of the illicit drugs, which do deserve to be classified as illicit drugs, but also the medicinal drugs that can really help people were put into that same catalogue. So that's about where
it's bullcrap because they're so different to the other drugs that it's like.
It's not even the same thing,
it's almost like it's not even worthy of being called a drug. It's like possibly like a mind medicine or like a vitamin or something. I thought it was more like a vitamin, but you just really notice it.
And then they'll shove like antipsychotics and antidepressants down your throat like nothing, but dissuade you and try to make you feel like you're a drug addict or something for wanting to look at an alternative method, which is all they really are. So yes, society is set up against you there. It's another thing. They don't want you taking what will help you, and they'd rather give you what will hinder you. So
yeah, that's so true. Like, yeah, they always just want to seek profit or whatever. But it's like yeah, some of the stuff that Big Pharma has done is really dodgy. Like I heard that they had
100%.
They had like medicines for like for autism or something in the 80s or whatever. And like they just banned it, like they just made it illegal, because it works. Whatever was found actually works. So anything that works, they make it illegal.
Yeah, same with hydrochloroquine or whatever it is with the alleged COVID. As soon as something apparently works, get rid of it.
Yeah.
Hey boys,
at least you got.
We have to talk about this article and shit.
What's this?
Yeah, what is it?
Talk about this article. Came out the other day. This is the first time I'm screen sharing, so I don't know what I'm doing. Hang on. Tell me if this scrolls. You ready? Is it scrolling?
It is.
Yeah, it's scrolling.
Oh. So
I read this the other day.
From what's his name? I spoke to him before a few times. Josh Butler. He lost his job at 10 Daily, but now he's got his own blog. I think the New Daily. He's written an article about George Christensen. Remember we were on that show, Mulch, on Tim's show. What's it called? World's Front and shit. Apparently, George Christensen has hit back at critics for appearing on an alt-right YouTube series, which later hosted far-right extremists, including the former neo-Nazi and a Proud Boys leader, by declaring you do not catch extremism. And it goes on to say, let me scroll down here, ASIO, Blair. The show's 5 other guests included far-right agitator Neil Erickson and a man named Versace Cowboy from the Proud Boys. He's the leader of the Melbourne chapter. Mr. Erickson, blah, 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 contempt for Muslims. And Noel, what say you, Noel? Can you catch extremism if George Christensen is on a show that then we're on the next day? does that mean George Christensen is also an extremist?
I guess according to lefty logic, pretty much.
Yeah, so I thought it was interesting.
Well, I'm on the show with you, and I'm not extremist, so...
Hey?
What are you? Oh, I'm on a show with you, and I'm not extremist, so, you know, if we were all judged by association, we'd be in trouble, wouldn't we? Extremely classic, maybe. That's about all.
Yeah, well, if I
extremely classic, mate. That's all I'm guilty of.
If I went on to like an Antifa podcast or something like that, it wouldn't make me Antifa, and it wouldn't make me promoting. It wouldn't be me promoting Antifa. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, if I went on there, like it would somehow be attacking Antifa or something. So I guess it's what he talks about when he's on. What he talks about, you know.
Yeah.
True.
Wow. Should all just get.
But what did he talk about? Did you listen to it?
Yeah, I think I watched it. He was talking about how the left I don't know, fucked up. And I watched a little bit of it. I don't really know. Hang on, I was going to say something, but it didn't come out right. Hang on. He said that the left shit's all retarded, and they talk like FAGS or something. Hey, let's check this out. Hang on. Sorry, boys, I've had a few beers. Let's see this. No, I'm not going to accept you, Stephen.
Yeah, I had an amazing ayahuasca experience. It sounded like it was better than your one. Not like I'm trying to compete, but like, you know how like you can have different ones. You know what I mean? Different levels. Yeah. I had one of those. One of like I reckon the highest it's almost possible, and I'm telling you, it was incredible.
Yeah, I look forward to the day, brother. Yeah.
I had like an ego death. Have you experienced that?
No, my ego's intact. Yeah, very well.
yeah. Well, I had that.
Do you want to watch this?
Oh yeah, this thing. Yeah. Hit play. She's from Charmed, by the way.
Can you hear it?
Nah, I can't hear it.
But maybe the other people can.
Can the viewers hear it?
It's on really low.
I haven't got comments or anything, yeah. I don't do the comments, they distract me.
Why is it not playing audio?
Looking good, Andy. Look how young you were there, mate.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah. Don't you hate that, Matty?
Hello.
People watch you eat, you got no idea.
Sorry, yeah, I had some dinner. How are you guys?
Very well, mate. How are you?
Good, man.
That's good.
Hi, Andy.
Howdy. What are you up to? Eating dinner?
Yeah, it's been a while. I saw your stream last week. Hope you're well. I'm glad you're.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah, I'm really happy.
What's the tea, mate?
Thanks. Yeah, what's the tea?
I'm having. I'll show you. Hang on, give me 1 sec. I'm having
there we go.
Pork souvlaki, mate.
Pork souvlaki.
Wow, that's all right. Yeah, you get takeaway or make it yourself?
Yeah, man.
You ready? I've got to work it. Hang on.
All right, let's see the video. This was a while ago. Jesus, you look very young.
Great day. Hi, Andy Nolch. Thank you for going to Eurydice's Memorial. I've seen your paintings and think they're great. Keep doing unique art. Go you.
Andy Nolch has no qualms about his crime.
I apologise to the family and any offence I've caused, but this needed to be done.
The 31-year-old is facing court over spray painting an image of male genitalia at the shrine for Eurydice Dixon, who was raped and murdered at Princes Park.
It was a revenge attack. It was not at all on Eurydice or anything. It was an attack on the media, on this huge issue that was being turned into a women's rights thing and blaming men. I just thought, all right, you're going to blame men? Well, I'm just going to draw a massive.
Hopefully you, Erickson and Blair, can have another meetup in St. Kilda soon.
Melbourne's Kilda Beach was shut down as fascist groups clashed with police and
I'm sure
protesters. It was billed as Cronulla 2.0, but luckily didn't meet the hype.
I hope this strikes fear in the African gangs, this assembly here.
How did these people get into our country?
100 far-right and neo-Nazi protesters.
Hi, Andy Nolch. I hope you have a great, great day.
What do you say about that, Nolch? So this chick was the leader of the Me Too movement, and she supports your artwork.
Yeah, she's outrageous. She's just whoa. What sort of feminist is she? Did you so with her and our who was the dude the Weinstein or whatever, right? I don't know if he even did anything wrong to her, if you know what I mean. Like, I know anyway, maybe we shouldn't talk about it, but do you know what he did? Do you know what he did to her? He just went down on her and like he kind of like forced himself to go down on her, right? And she was just like, "Oh, he's such an ugly ogre." It was disgusting. I don't know. Anyway,
Victoria.
I have some questions about that, but I'll keep it to myself. Hey, what are you eating, bro?
Pork souvlaki.
I just finished my pork souvlaki, mate.
What, you couldn't have a feed before you got on? Like, how fucking rude and shit.
I had one 3 hours ago, but I'm
gonna eat when I'm on the show.
It's my second serving, mate, so give me a break. I'm hungry. Fuck. Anyway.
Yeah, now I know how to do screen share. I might do some other things.
It's a nice shirt, mate, Andy.
Keep chatting.
Nice shirt.
Thanks. Yeah, I got it from my sister. It's sweet.
Good stuff.
I'm fussy about things.
No,
I need him to be like cotton, otherwise I feel weird in that.
Yeah, are you into flannel? Are you into flannel, mate? Flannelette shirts?
Is it? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
I'm kind of hooked on them right now. I'm getting a lot of white and blue flannels and also yellow and blue. That's my style: yellow and blue and white and blue flannels.
Yeah.
I've got a bit of an addiction right now. I'm constantly ordering flannels online from Country Road and Academy brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, do you remember flannel? Do you remember this, Medi? Hang on. Let's see this shit. Yeah, you'll see a lot of Howard Stern. I listen to a lot of Howard Stern.
Right, Howard Stern, what are you going on?
Yeah.
Oh, this is good. Oh, no.
It's okay to be wise.
She asked you to repeat yourself.
The best thing about that is, I was there. It says at the back is sponsored by the Australian Federal Police. That's the best part of it.
Oh wow! It actually says that. Wow.
You got some big balls, Neil. That's the Neil I need right now, man.
It's just so retarded. Like, how can a government department sponsor an event? Like, it's just random. Like, even if it was an African event or like a go-karting event, it almost just doesn't make any sense. What the fuck? Victoria Police are sponsoring an event. Like, what? It's a police. What the fuck? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, Australian Federal Police as well. It's just weird. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. It's almost like it's a corporation like McDonald's or some shit. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's
not like the Victoria Police would be
the whole thing's being funded. But anyway,
Let's try to get something for us.
Taken off. Hey?
Oh, buddy. You got another one? We keep getting this up. I might be able to start a petition to bring me out of retirement.
Anyway, I got some funny ones.
I know you do.
Do you want to see Rust videos?
No,
Which one's that?
no Rust
Right.
videos, please. No Rust. No Rust. Yeah, this is good one.
Oh, you got a problem with Blair? You got a problem? I just saw you shake your head at him. Are you meant to be an unbiased journalist? Huh? Unbiased my ass. Don't you harass people every day?
No, I don't, and I'm not bothering you.
You don't harass people every day with a camera?
Mate, she's asked you.
Hey! Don't touch me.
Sip.
Don't touch me, mate.
I didn't even touch you.
Don't touch him. Go away. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Stop putting your fucking camera in people's faces, bro. Like,
This is like
anything better to do.
journalists do this to people all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it, John.
Yeah, exactly. And you're just doing it as a once-off, you know.
If you're wondering what I'm doing, this journalist from Channel 7 is...
Yeah, oh, hang on. Do you want to watch the rest?
That's
Might as
all
well.
right. It's the same old.
Oh, is it?
You're harassing women.
Oh,
here.
yeah,
What's going on?
Fucking, yeah, nothing's new.
You're going to get the Me Too movement going again.
I'm just going to be careful not sharing my, password or anything.
Hey, how did Blair's case go? Because I can't remember. He was appealing something.
He
Gosney
lost,
at the
mate.
county.
He lost. I was there.
I knew that was
3 days.
going to happen. I knew it was going to happen. So what happened?
He got found guilty.
He hired a lawyer and he should have represented himself.
Oh, so he changed plans.
No, what happened
I
was
thought
he
it-
had John Bolton defending him. The issue was that in the Charter of Human Rights, if you have the right to freedom of speech and political communication, as long as you're not damaging someone else's rights. And the problem was back in 1992 under the Brumby government, I think it was, they enshrined in the kind of Victorian law, which is basically our constitution, that multiculturalism is our strength. And because what he did or what we did countered that, automatically it was breached, like his rights are reneged. If you know what I mean? It's already in the actual state legislation. So that's how he lost. We didn't even know that.
It's like a state of exception, like in a state of emergency, state of exception, but in a anti-discrimination way instead of a health emergency way. So basically, his rights to freedom of speech are suspended because he's going against multiculturalism, which is literally law. There's other reasons for the ruling, but that was part of it. And they
Did he get an
mentioned-
opportunity? Did he get an opportunity for a High Court appeal, or?
Wow, too complicated.
No,
They
they
wouldn't
wouldn't let it leave the state. He tried to go to Nolchi did. He went to the Supreme Court.
That's what they do. They don't. Yeah, they don't let you appeal twice or whatever. Because my one, I was thinking with my one of appealing the appeal, but then we looked into it and it was just like the odds of them accepting it was so slim. Like they would have just said no, you can't appeal. They wouldn't have let it leave Victoria.
They also argued that by banning Blair's speech, it actually enhanced free speech because it meant that Muslims are more likely to participate in society. So
What shit.
They literally argued that. They said that by banning hate speech like Blair's speech, or what Blair did, that's going to help, encourage Muslims to basically participate in society. It won't make them feel like they're nothing and they're not offended, and it'll make them participate. So
unbelievable, isn't it?
Because not one Muslim organisation complained, and when he did that, Muslims were still making their own businesses, still working, still applying for jobs. But his actions didn't, it didn't make them, lose their shit and not participate in society. There were still lawyers, still Muslim doctors everywhere. It's like
what he done was very respectable. He was persecuted by the media, but I've only met Blair once through Neil, but what he done was it was honourable, definitely. Yeah, he was trying to do the right thing. It was just Give it a shit go, really, wouldn't he?
So what did he get charged with or convicted of?
Well, we all did.
RTA, Racial Religious Tolerance Act.
Protected, intolerance. Being
Racial Religious Tolerance Act.
Homophobic.
Yeah.
That's the other law.
So what's what exactly?
Homophobic or some shit. Well, it's
So what
the fuck was it?
The Racial Religious Tolerance Act, mate, Victoria. The RRTA, Racial Religious Tolerance Act of Victoria. He was like the first person. Blair was the first person to be convicted or something, or the second person. I think there've been 2 cases where someone's been charged for it, and he was the first one to actually get convicted. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. I don't know if that's accurate, but if I remember correctly, that's what happened. But basically, there's a law called the Racial Religious Tolerance Act. Let me just quickly Google it. Victoria, and that was made in 2001. So 2001, there was a Racial Religious Tolerance Act that was passed. And right now, the Victorian Equal Opportunity Human Rights Commission, which is the body that sort of regulates the act and sort of recommends to the Victorian government to make amendments, they want to basically strengthen it. So they want to make it easier for people to complain. And basically, if the recommendations pass, I think they're going to go to the Victorian government to be discussed in the Parliament probably next year, I assume, from my understanding. If the recommendations pass, or all of them, or some of them, it will basically make it a lot easier for what happened to Blair to happen to other people. And the whole point of this is basically all these lawyers and all these human rights bodies, they just want to expand the scope of everything and make it easier for people to complain, and harder for people to defend themselves. And they want to loosen what constitutes hate speech. So basically, instead of, I forgot exactly, I wrote an article about this. I'll link it to you later if you want, but I analysed this quite intensely like months ago. I forgot a lot of what I researched, but basically, to cut a long story short, they're making it a lot easier for people to complain under this law and a lot harder for people to defend themselves as well. So that's just the Victoria. And every state and territory has an anti-discrimination law. The federal law is the, 18C, as you all know, that was passed by Gough Whitlam in 1975.
Yeah, thanks for telling me what I was convicted of. I forgot.
Yeah, all good. And the anti-discrimination laws in Victoria and New South Wales are probably the strongest. And I reckon Queensland as well is pretty strong as well. But probably New South Wales, Victoria, and Queensland are probably the strongest anti-discrimination laws. And they're getting stronger. And right now, I'm pretty sure they're discussing adding, what's it called? They've got the gays, the religious groups, the gays and everything are covered. Actually, the gays aren't covered. I think they want to expand it to include the gays as well, sexuality.
They'll do that. They'll totally do that.
And do you know Christianity isn't even protected under that law because it's a major religion. It's only minority religions like Buddhism, Islam, Judaism, etc. So
Islam's a race apparently.
Well, it's just so dodgy because like the Vic police or whatever, the Vic government banned like Scientology in the 60s, and Scientologists like weren't blowing shit up or doing stabbings or anything, but it's all just political, like they can openly like not cut the head off a dummy, but actually ban a religion. Like that's actually discriminating, like full on. But yeah, they can get away with it. It's like it's just crazy. Like the government can get away with killing thousands of people or whatever, but if one person kills another person, they get screwed over for life or whatever,
Well, Neil mentioned Muslims and stuff, and the thing is, with what happened with his case, there were 5 days that the case happened. I went to 3 of them out of the 5. And I remember they brought in some expert, some academic who is an expert when it comes to Islam and the correlation between Islam and race. And he basically made the point that it's indistinguishable. Like Islam is a race, basically, because I think most people who are Muslim are basically Arabs. So when you attack, and because Islam is so ingrained in their sense of being and identity, when you attack Islam, you're literally attacking them as people. That's what he was arguing. So they used an expert to basically say that Islam is a race, even though we all know it's not. But because Muslims are so attached to it, and because it's so much part of their identity, when you attack Islam, you're attacking them as well. So they're just twisting everything, mate. Like all these laws are just twisting everything, and they're just creating realities out of nothing. Just fake realities are just ridiculous. You know?
Yeah, they're big hypocrites because it's like whatever they're preaching, like, oh, we're trying to stop hate speech. That's bullshit. They couldn't give a shit about hate speech. They're doing all this for other reasons. You know, if they actually cared about hate speech and discrimination, then they would have a fair discrimination rule or something like that. But they're using it to do other things. You know.
Hey, Stefan, what kind of product do you use in your hair and shit?
I don't use product, man. I don't use product.
Oh, come on.
It's like
Is that natural?
very, very greasy and shit.
No, because whenever I come on the show, I'm serious. Whenever I come on the show, I always wet my hair because it looks better. I don't know. I just do it. Whenever Neil calls me and says I'll come on the show, I always just go to the bathroom beforehand and just let it a bit.
They do that when they film stuff on TV. Like if they're filming like in a car park, they'll wet the asphalt so it looks blacker and it looks better.
There you go, tricks of the trade. Might start wetting my beard and see what happens.
Yeah.
So, anyway, in other news, I contacted the Australian Federal Police. I don't know if I mentioned this at the last.
You've told me 3 million times, but
You're the one who told me how to do it.
yeah.
But, so since, like, I've never spoken to the Federal Police, ever. I've spoken to ATO, Victorian Police, some task force that watches right-wingers and some other anti-terrorism task force. Spoke to all them, just normal conversations. Never spoken to the Federal Police. And someone close person in my life said, you know, why don't you do a freedom of information request? I don't know if they want me to tell them who they were, but I did a freedom of information request. And apparently, even though I haven't even spoken to the AFP ever, there is currently 250 documents on file that has to do with me. So I've requested a freedom of information request from them, and there's 250 documents, and they have to give them up. So that's what I've been doing, and they've actually taken a long time. I first applied for the freedom of information request in May, I think it was May, like 16. They wanted a month extension. They got a month extension. I didn't argue it. And now it's been 4 months since then. So they're going to be giving me all the documents. So I advise anyone who's in politics, do a freedom of information request with the Federal Police. You'll be surprised what they have on you. You know?
Wow.
Considering I've never been in charge of a federal crime, I've never spoken to them. I think I have been charged of a federal crime, but I never dealt with the Federal Police.
I thought it was 600 pages, mate. That's what you told me.
No, it's 250, bro. 250. No, it wasn't 600. It was 250, I think.
Okay.
Might have been 600.
I reckon I'll have one page and it just says knows Neil Erickson. That's all it'll say.
That's what my one will say. Yeah.
On an interesting / serious note, if you do think that you would have a file, it's worth the link. It's free with the AFP. It's free, and you can do it more so to understand how they operate and what they look for. Like when you get your file, and a lot of it's redacted as well. They redact a lot of the names of the officers and stuff. Basically, it's good to know what they know about you, and you know what made them worry about you in the first place.
Have you done one, Manny?
I comment, but I'm just saying that from what I understand.
We'll talk later, eh? Can we talk later?
Yeah, no comment. But from what I understand, from what I've heard around the campfire, so to speak, is that it's worth doing it because you understand what the government is worried about you. And
it's worth doing just to be a pain in their ass.
And when you know what they're worried about you, you can basically change how you operate to kind of avoid their radar. You know what I mean? So information is power. The more you know about what they know about you, the more you can sort of use information to sort of act in a different way to avoid their radar and potentially get arrested or whatever, you know? So with the AFP, it's free. It's a matter of sending an email and you've got to structure it a certain way. It's just give them a call and do it. And with the Victoria Police or whatever state you're in, you might need to pay a fee of like $29 or something. And the FOI laws per state are different to the AF to the federal. But same sort of process, takes about a month to 2 months depending. But don't expect all the information. They'll redact a lot of it, man. They'll redact a lot of it from my understanding. A lot of it's very heavily redacted. because they don't want to reveal how they operate. So, for example, you know, they probably
that's part of their
because they can't reveal their tactics. So if they show you everything, they might show you a surveillance report. Well, if they do a surveillance report and they put that in without redacting it, basically you'll know that they were spying on you on this day, this time, and that there was a motorbike at your house at this time. So that might make you install cameras, next year to basically make sure you see them, coming, so to speak. So it's for that to protect their officers and also their tactics as well.
Yeah, interesting, very interesting. Yeah, interesting to see what yours says, Neil. I'm sure it's going to be nothing good, bro.
Well, I was just about to ask Noel to do something, but he's disappeared. He's still here.
I don't think Noel has an AFP file. He's never got a Victoria Police file.
Oh, for sure. No, but I was about to ask him to do something.
I don't think he's.
If I get an AFP file, I get will be one paper long. If I get a Vic Police file, man, I'll be fucking reversing the trailer up my driveway to drop that off. Right?
Hey, Noel.
Can you hear me?
But,
yeah, can you hear me?
I reckon if you do it, do it after your court case,
Can you do me a favour?
After the court case?
Yeah. But otherwise, you're wasting money.
Yeah.
We'll talk offline. We'll talk offline.
Yeah.
Cool.
Can you do? Can you turn it to like flat view? Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. I want to do a request for sure. I want to do a request big time.
Here are very interested in wanting to know. I've seen you with a notepad before and a pen. Could you recreate the fantastic artwork you drew on that park? I want it to be like the. Obviously, it's smaller, but it's going to be the same accurate dimensions. Like how.
Yeah.
Doing live auction.
Yeah, I'll show you.
So Noel's just going to reenact the famous artwork.
All right.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they have the photos of your artwork in your file.
Yeah, probably.
Definitely got photos of the artwork in some file.
All right, here it is. Hold on.
All
right. Can you see the soccer?
Drum roll. Hey, there it is.
That was so quick, bro. So that's an accurate dimensional recreation.
Yeah, man, that's it. That's accurate dimension. That's a soccer oval. The circle thing is the flowers. The circle thing is the flowers.
What's coming out of it looks like something shooting out of it.
Yeah, man.
Is something shooting out of it, or
mate,
Can you show us again? Just zoom in a bit. I just want to see
I've scrunched it up. It's baby making substances.
So you actually drew a still picture, but in a motion, like it was doing something. The still picture.
Yeah, it was functioning. Yeah.
That's magnificent, man. That's the scale. Yeah.
You just. What if you were Neil? What if you were actually involved in that, mate? What if someone was taking the rap or something?
Well, apparently this is what I heard when Nochi first got arrested. Before he got arrested, yeah. The left went mental. They said me and Blair did it. They said Erickson and Blair. No, me and Ricky Turner. That's right. Me and Ricky did it. They were before they even knew it was Nolch. They said Ricky and Erickson did it, or one of their mates. Nolch, were we friends before the drawing?
Nah. But what if you paid someone to do it and he took the rap and everything and just kept it secret?
That could have happened. Straight up. And didn't the police already ask you in the interview room if you knew me and Blair or something?
No, I don't think so. But they did ask me, they were pretty keen on someone else being involved because my phone was switched off 45 minutes before leaving my house, and they thought that I switched my phone off and used some other phone or met up with other people, then went there. So they were kind of like, why is there this missing 45 minutes of nothingness? So, yeah.
Yeah, so, there is some conspiracies that Nolch didn't have to learn. It's like the JFK assassination.
But someone
we'll never know.
I did get $100 from
Was
someone.
there anyone on the grassy knoll?
Sort of.
With a spray gun?
I honestly got $100 from someone, but I'm not going to say much about it. But yeah.
Hey, can you
Enough said.
Because I was trying to bring this up last stream because it was so funny. You've already been convicted of this crime, so you're not going to get in any more trouble. But was there something that you left at the scene to kind of throw off the police and shit? Didn't you go and buy a couple of products and leave it at the scene? Like I thought this was so like genius, man, what he did.
Yeah, well, I was rushed, so I didn't get to do what I wanted to fully do. Like I didn't. Yeah, but I put like basketball magazines and like a passion pop bottle and that, like in like a plastic bag, just so because it wasn't far from the it wasn't far from the Flemington Commission flats and stuff. So I had cigs, passion pop, and like basketball mags, and I just like threw them on the ground or whatever, just to see if it could distract or whatever. Throw off.
And who would that throw off to? What reference would that be?
That would be referring to like the
basketball magazines and shit. And wasn't there flats like right near it?
Yeah, that was near it. Yeah.
It's always them bloody Asians, mate.
Yeah, that was to throw it to the Asian community or whatever. So
they love basketball. They're so good at it.
Yeah,
it's all that height.
Andy, I was wondering. Obviously, a lot of people know who you are. A lot of people hate you, but a lot of people love you as well. Like we love you. I know that for me. I don't know about Neil and Jazz, but I definitely love you. But I was wondering.
You love him.
That's a strong word, Eddie. I mean, me and Eddie cool, but you know what I mean? I'm not going to hump his leg anytime soon.
I was wondering, like, after this whole thing with Corona.
You go on a date with me?
After the lockdown, I was wondering, would you be willing to, like, just walk down the street of the most left-wing area, like Brunswick or Northcote, you know, past all those cafes that sell bashed avocado and smashed avocado and people wear skinny jeans, would you like be willing to just walk past all those really dense left-wing areas? Do you reckon people would notice you? Do you reckon that, you know, you would cop a few greasies, or would anyone assault you? Do you reckon enough people know who you are for that to happen if you were to walk in a left area?
I think I might get 2 bad looks or something like that. But I doubt I would get any physical attack or anything like that. After it happened, I didn't. I just got some bad looks, and that was it. So a lot of people, don't. A lot of people really don't care.
People have memory like a goldfish, man. Like, you know.
Yeah.
For them to even recognise you is, you know.
The average person does it. Go to a particular area where everyone's pretty much a communist. Well, they're going to know you, so.
Yeah, I think it would be more. I haven't been to that, like, those areas, but I think it would be fine. And a lot of the time, you know, they're like keyboard warriors or whatever. They just sit behind their keyboard and type out death threats or whatever, but they don't actually mean any of them. But yeah, I think what's interesting is it a lot of propaganda comes out of Melbourne. That whole event was a propaganda event, and I think it shows how they can get away with the COVID stuff in Melbourne, because they already knew that they just have to pump shit in the media, and then the public respond like Pavlovian dogs or whatever.
The fucking zombies, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's just like these people who rock up to these marches and stuff. They're just manipulated and they're confused, and they're just there's this strong group of brainwashed people in Melbourne, and this wouldn't have happened in any other city. It's a very Melbourne thing. Neil's got some more.
Neil's got something.
The vandal who defaced a memorial for Eurydice Dixon has appealed his sentence.
I got my handbag.
Happy with his original law.
That is a handbag.
It looks like a man bag. I think they got a name, those
legal
things.
Advice from a far-right activist who has previously been accused of contempt of court. Nolch painted a lewd image around a makeshift memorial at Princes Park. He'll return to court in February.
So
The
that
vandal
that
who
footage,
defaced Eurydice Dixon's memorial has sought legal advice from far-right activist Neil Erickson to appeal his sentence. After admitting to painting obscene images on the memorial, Andrew Nolch now says he wasn't happy with his original lawyer and wants another day in court. He'll reappear next year.
Wasn't happy with his original lawyer, so he goes to Neil Erickson. That's funny.
Yeah, so what you saw of the grass, that was the big like vandalism. That was the big like destroying of the park that cost thousands of dollars. Not on me.
The picture? I think I've got it here.
Not on me, nah.
Who's phone's
Whoa, that's wild, huh?
Whose phone's ringing?
Oh my god, it's really loud.
Someone's phone's like vibrating. Someone's got a phone on the table that's vibrating. Yeah, it's Jared. Yeah.
It is, mate. Sorry, mate. Can I answer it? No.
Yeah, so it's interesting how Melbourne people are, because it's real similar to like Portland and Seattle and like San Francisco. It's like Melbourne's like another little version of one of those places. It's interesting.
Hey boys, I'm gonna go for a cigarette. Please write the chat for a bit.
Yeah, we're going to talk about drugs.
We're on the chat for 5 minutes, Notch, without.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay?
Yeah, I got stuff to talk about.
What are you talking about, Andy?
I was gonna go. I'm gonna go take a leak, and then I'm gonna go for a smoke.
Right.
I'll be about 5 minutes.
All right.
You got shit to talk about?
So,
yeah.
Of course we do.
I want to talk about the ego death.
No, I'll just try. I'll be gone. I'll be back.
So, Mehdi, have you ever tried acid before?
Nah, man, I've never touched drugs in my life, man. That's it.
Never touched any drugs?
No, never.
Really?
Never.
Sorry,
absolutely
man.
Never. I've never even thought about it because I know you guys have not to judge you up or anything, but with my culture, like doing drugs is like really taboo. It's like if you do that, it's like brings shame to the family. So if people find out, obviously.
I know some Greeks that would definitely disagree with you, bro.
They've been assimilated too much, perhaps. I don't know, but with me, I'm full on old school when it comes to that shit.
You're from that Spartan tribe. I understand you got that Spartan bloodline, man.
Yeah, just my family would just kill me, like if they found out. It's really
whoa.
Yeah. Fair enough then.
I've researched it, but I have never tried it. But I understand the appeal because a lot of people are perhaps going through a rough patch or whatever, and it's just apparently it gives you a high that perhaps you don't get in other parts of your life. It's definitely
100%
interesting, but I've never tried it. But I understand the appeal, though. I definitely understand the appeal.
Yeah. Fair enough. I don't understand people who have never tried drugs. Personally, I think that's wild. I think life's to be lived to the fullest. Do you know what I mean? And I think you're missing out on a lot of experiences. But I'm not a preacher, so
I haven't even done heroin. Not even heroin, which is like the most.
Not even heroin.
No, I'm clean, bro. Like, so to speak.
Wow.
No, I just find it interesting how it's never come about. Like, I heard that Jerry Seinfeld never tried coffee until he was 60. And I just think that's like what you've said about drugs and what Jerry said about coffee. I just find that just amazing. Like, how have you never tried that? It's just amazing.
I've been offered it before, but I never accepted. Never accepted it. No.
Well, there's plenty of time in the future, matey. Just
I think what's interesting.
Apparently, Andy knows where they grow.
No, I was innocent, man. I was yeah, I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Anyway,
sorry, bro.
What was I gonna say?
I know, but you wanted to talk about something else, Andy. You wanted to talk about
about the ego death thing.
Yeah.
So I think when you go to the ego death level, I think that's about as far as you can go. Like, that's the peak. And it's just it's epic. It is just absolutely, it's just incredible. It's hard. It's almost painful. Like after it, I was like, well, I'm not doing that for 6 months. Like, as in that was like it was the freakiest, craziest roller coaster ride ever. But yeah, it was like, I want to try. I want to do that again.
Are you still talking about drugs like the whole time?
Yeah. We were just finishing that conversation before, but I think with the ego death thing, Andy, I do understand that because I haven't had it that way, but you get it also through martial arts, obviously. So I've had my ass handed to me time and time again, and that's an ego death. When like when you start wrestling and you have 60-kilo women choke you unconscious, that's an ego death. So yeah, I completely understand that. Yeah, it's good to be humble. It's a very good thing.
Yeah, I had to like learn how to it was kind of like almost like an out of body experience. Like I had to like learn how to use my body again, like literally like to walk and move my arms, and it was just so fascinating. But this is what I was going to say. The problem is that like if you do it, you have to realize that you can't like not do it. Like once you've had the incredible experience, you can't like forget it. So it's like once you're awake, and then you're awake now. So I think it kind of ruined some things. Like, did you find with you that some things you were like kind of bored with?
Nah, I'm pretty sporadic person, so I tend to get bored pretty quickly anyway. So I'm always jumping from one to the other. But nah, not so much. I had other realizations, but they were more personal and life goal orientated.
How about petrol sniffing? Have you tried that?
No, but I once knew a kid who had a shot of methylated spirits.
Wow, how'd he go?
I did.
You're the kid I'm talking about, bro.
I did it for a dare. We had a bunch of weird jam to like take a shot of meth. Like, oh yeah, fuck it, and I did it. That's like shit. Me and Jared done a lot of shit when we were younger, man.
Hey, so shrooms? Because someone just asked. Shrooms are like I think they might be kind of like ayahuasca, but not as good. But with ayahuasca and DMT, if you get big doses of that, that's when you can have the awesome experience. So it's probably easier. I know it's cheaper to get ayahuasca and cook that up. For like $90, you can have tons of experiences for $90. Whereas I think it's harder trying to pick mushrooms.
To like other planets? Sorry, guys, I'm a bit pissed tonight. But can you go to like other planets and shit on these drugs?
Yeah, I think you can go to other dimensions. I had a communication with like this being, and it was cool as. I think he was possibly like one of the gods or something. He was telling me how dumb I was, pretty much. Because he was saying like how Earthlings are like super super dumb, and like in order to like when it was he was so much smarter than us, and these beings are so much smarter than us that when they talk to us, they have to dumb themselves down like what we're like when we're talking to like a 2-year-old baby, and we're like, here, have the sauce or whatever, like, and we have to like you can barely talk to a 2-year-old. So that's what it was like for him when he was trying to talk to me. He was like saying, you just have no idea about anything. Like you're just like a 2-year-old. You're so dumb. So
I've got a question for ethics. Because you guys are either current or former drug users. I've never used drugs in my life, but I was wondering if you see someone in their car taking drugs, and I'm talking the stuff that they smoke and they light the lighter. What's that called? Where they got a pipe and they're lighting it on the bottom. Yeah, that's illegal.
Ice.
Ice.
That's ice. Yeah, that's illegal.
Totally legal.
Yeah, it's illegal anyway. It's illegal. Okay, it's illegal. I know it's illegal. Is it okay to report them to the police, or would you do that or not? If you saw someone, do that in their car, would you report them to the police? Would you call the police and say,
"There's a guy here"? That's snitching.
I'm not calling the police for nothing, man. Yeah, you can bloody rob my house. I'm not calling the police. I'll fucking arrest you myself, but I ain't calling the police.
Just bashing myself.
Yeah, just run up, kick him through the car window and tell him to fuck off. Like, take that shit inside, but there's no kids.
I feel sorry for these people who are addicted to like meth or even coffee or whatever, because it's like it takes over their mind, and then they're running around trying to get cash in order to buy that drug. So it's like they're just in a real fucked up situation. I know what it's like because I used to be addicted to coffee, and like in the morning it's just like I've got to get a coffee. Whereas now I've beaten it, so now I can just drive in the morning and not be like driving to 7-Eleven to get a coffee.
Yeah, coffee's like worse than heroin and shit.
Yeah, coffee's like meth. Coffee's like a soft version of meth.
Bro, I'm drinking coffee right now. What time is it at night? I'm drinking coffee.
When you were drawing that massive shaft, Nulch,
yeah,
were there like cops there and shit? Like, what happened?
This is what's interesting because, like,
so
they were look.
You got
they had it.
Yeah?
Man, they had it so. I couldn't believe how monitored they had it. It was like a cold winter's night. It's a Sunday night. You think that they wouldn't be patrolling it, or they like you think they'd leave it for like 3 hours or something in the middle of the night.
So did you have like this dark clothes on and shit, like a ninja? Like
nah, I just had like just a rain jacket on, but it's just so typical that they use the police funds to not like worry about robbers and shit, but to go around and protect like a little bunch of flowers in a park. And it's just like they're just being diverted away into these like social justice causes and shit, and it's just a joke, really.
So did you have to take off into the bushes? Did someone see you?
Yeah, so what happened is I rocked up, and honestly, about 11 minutes after I started, a car came.
So which part were you drawing? The balls or the shaft?
I think I was
Where did you start the picture? Did you start at the balls or did you start at the shaft?
I think I probably started at the shaft. And so since then
you
I ran
normally start from the shaft? You normally start from the shaft?
Work down to the balls? Is that the way it goes?
Yeah, shaft to the balls. Yeah, fit it right in. And then I went and hid, and then the car looked, and then like just because they were coming. So when I hid, and I didn't want to run.
Just stand there.
I want to see what they were doing.
You drew half of the swamp, and then you just like went into the bushes.
Yeah, and then what? And then they just
you're like,
went into the bushes.
I can't finish the shaft.
Yeah, no, I was pissed off because I thought that like if they'd hopped out of the car and spotted it at that stage, then it would have been half complete, and I would have been real pissed off. But
you don't want half a dick on the news. If you're gonna have a dick,
exactly.
You need a full dick. We can't just have half cock. What?
Yeah, it's outrageous. Because I wanted to snap it. I wanted to have a picture on Herald Sun or some shit, like a dick in the morning, like with the sun coming up. And anyway, so then I went back after the car left. Oh wait, I waited like half an hour. The car left like straight away, but I waited half an hour. Started again, and then they came back again in like around 11 minutes or something. And I was like,
"You would have been
what
like,
the fuck?
I'm trying to."
I was pissed off. I was like, I'm trying to draw a cock. Like, what the fuck is it coming back? So then at that point I left, and they saw it. So then I left for good. And that was it.
I love how efficient you are, Andy. 99% of people would have said 10 minutes. You said 11. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't 10, it was 11 minutes.
Something like that.
Like, I love it.
But you should have seen me do it. But I mean, it was like I was efficient. I got the buckets and it was like boom, boom, boom. Like there was no pausing, no like thinking about it. It was like I'm making a dick now. And because I knew I had the time limit, so I was like, and I got it done just in time.
Well done. Race against the clock.
And then what happened?
Race against the clock.
They raided 2 of your properties, yeah? Not just one?
No, two cars and 1 property. But they would have, because I confessed to it. If I didn't confess, they would have done a lot of things to make things difficult.
Yeah, because I've been raided, I think, 3 times. I think I've been raided 3. The first one, they tried the capsicum spray me and shit. Mate, I did a prank call, because a lot of lefties talk about this. I might as well talk about it. I was like working for this company and shit. I was like a boss. I was like a manager and shit. And I had like a few casual workers and shit. And like what we used to do all day, because it was pretty quiet while we worked, we'd just prank people like all day. We'd prank, I won't say too many places because there might be further charges, I don't know. But we prank like all these places and shit. And then my mate's like, hey, prank like a synagogue and shit. And I'm like, yeah, we'll prank a synagogue and shit. And then we were like, put on and shit, like synagogues. And then we found Rabbi Gutnick, Joseph Gutnick's brother, Michael. You know, the one who used to own Melbourne Football Club. So we're like, oh, Gutnick and shit. So we got his mobile number and I call up. And I'm like, my son, he's 13. I pretended to be Uri Geller, the spoon bender. Hey, the spoon bender. Can you give my son a bar mitzvah? How much? And it was like funny as fuck, yeah? There was no like, there was no nothing. And he was like laughing along with me and shit. And then I just started calling him more and shit like that day. And then I said, I come meet you for coffee. I give you the money and shit, and for the bar mitzvah. And that was all good, yeah? And then I had to go pick my mate up from work. He got his car got clamped by the fines, Victoria. So I went to pick him up, and then I rang again. But most of the time, he didn't answer. Like, he just went to message bank. And then, was it Australia Day? We called him up from the pub, and I said, I can't even say it on this video, but it was like something funny. It wasn't like nasty. And then like
hey, sorry, I got to get going. All right, my phone's about to run out of power.
All right, mate.
Okay, see you later.
Right. See you, Andy. Cheers, buddy.
So then I'm going to work, yeah. I'm driving to work, and this police car just like has its lights going and shit, like pulling me over. And I was on my phone too. I was fucking with my phone. And I'm like, fuck, they called me on my phone and shit. So I pull over. And I had my V8 5-litre SS Shoot or whatever it was. And I pull over and he goes, give me your keys. Like, he wants my keys. He goes, give me your phone. I said, what? For using my phone? He goes, no. You'll be in charge of stalking. I said, stalking? Who? He goes, the Jew. I said, the Jew? This is like a year later, man. It's like a year later. And I said, oh, that. And I said, it was a joke, man. Like, what the fuck? Then his cop mate parked my car in the car park. They drove me back to my house. And I said, my missus is in the shower. Yeah, she's going to work. Don't like storm in there and shit. He goes, give me your fucking key or we're going to just break the door down. I said, here's the key. I go, but just kind of let yourself be known when you walk in and shit. And he just opened up the door, didn't give a fuck, walked straight in. And luckily, I think my missus was there at the shower by that time. And then he goes, have you got any weapons here and shit? And I'm like, yeah, there's a shotgun underneath the couch. And he's like, I go, nah, I'm joking, bro. and he's like, sit down, get in. And he sits me down in the couch and shit. They start going through my computers and shit. So I had a new computer, another computer, and the missus had a work laptop that they were threatening to take. They took iPads, all sorts of shit, yeah? And then they said to me, they started interrogating my missus and shit. And I said, don't say anything to them. Just, they're trying to get shit out of you. They said, what, are you affecting our witness and shit? I said, what? He goes, oh, fucking capsicum spray you right now. I go, dude, I'm West Heidelberg, bro. Because I was looking at West Heidelberg. I go, West Heidelberg and shit, capsicum spray me. I go, my neighbours are all drug dealers, man. I don't give a shit. Or something. And
yeah, it's normal here, bro.
And then they drove up to Heidelberg police station. They go, oh, we'll take him through the back and shit. And I said, yeah, I go, the back, because I already knew where the back was in the Heidelberg police station. Don't ask me why. But I go, yeah, just cruise down there, you can go in there. And he's like, no, we're taking you at the front. And then they dragged me from the front, like, we're going to parade you in front of everyone. I said, okay. And then they interviewed me and they said, oh, you know, like, this is all serious. And you asked him for bagels and shit. And I started laughing. Like, you think that's funny and shit? I said, yeah, kind of, man. Like, bagels. It sounds like a joke call. Yeah, it's not serious. They go, you're in charge of stalking. I had to plead guilty and shit, man. And then in court, they read it out, but the way they read it out and shit, man, is like full on. It's like, oh, like Jewish sidewalks, blood money, and they start screaming it. Like, it was just, yeah, kind of a racist prank call, but yeah. And then
they put a show. They turned it into a show.
No, I forgot this. The prosecution, yeah. So I'm sitting in there, yeah, and I've got like, it's like a Jewish wedding behind me. There's like that many bloody, you know, caps and shit, and curls.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
behind me, journalists and shit.
Yeah.
And then they said the prosecution's like, the maximum sentence for stalking, yeah, is 10 years. That's the maximum. You can't get higher than that, yeah? And stalking for 10 years is usually if you're carrying weapons in your boot, like you're planning to kidnap a chick or something. And
yeah, like
and,
fucking, yeah, hectic.
Like the most worst stalking, like you've called them every day, you've left knives on their doorstep, bullets in their letterbox. Like that's massive stalking, yeah?
Yeah.
The prosecution asked for 10 years. And even the magistrate went, what? And they're like, we're looking at 10 years in prison. She goes, no, I'll give him the corrections order. He can do like 100.
I wonder if the Jews had anything to do with that.
I don't know. I'm telling you, it was like pretty full on. The funny
That's what.
When I was on bail, I was waiting for court. So it's a true story, yeah? I was at home, I think it was my birthday or someone's birthday, they were all at my house. I was living in South Morang at the time. And we didn't knock on the door. It was like 8 p.m. on a Friday night. And I opened the door, and there's some dude with like curly hair and shit. And he had like a bunch of like artwork. I didn't know at the time, but there was a bunch of like folders. I said, what's going on? He had an accent and shit. He was like, oh, hello, so you want to buy some paintings and shit, yeah? And at the front door of my house, I used to flick cigarette butts in the ashtray and there'd be ash on the ground. It wasn't very clean there. And he just threw the paintings on the ground and all the ash went into it. And I said, you're Israeli, aren't you? Because he looked white, he had like a very Middle Eastern accent. And he goes, how do you know?
Yeah.
How do you know? And I said, I just know, man. I could tell that you're Israeli. I go, you Mossad. And this guy would have been like 25, 26, something like that. He goes, oh, I'm too young to be Mossad. What do you ask questions like that? I said, you're Mossad, aren't you? And he said, no, I'm just selling paintings. Who sells paintings door to door on a Friday night at 8 p.m.?
Yeah.
And then and I've got witnesses to this too. And he left. And I'm like, yeah, what are they doing, man? What's going on?
Yeah.
That was when I was on bail.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
Now, they are weird. I remember I was working on the garbage trucks around that area, around St Kilda and Elstonwick and all that. And we called it Tube Block because it was where all the synagogues and that were. And we're sitting at the servo having lunch one day, because we start early, it's like 10 o'clock in the morning. And there's three of us just sitting in the truck, the driver and two jockeys. And because we're in that neighbourhood, next thing you know, there's bloody four of them standing around us in suits, just four blokes in suits telling us to get out the truck. So I get out the truck and I say, mate, what's going on? And I looked and I see they're armed. In their suit jackets, they're carrying, they're packing guns. So they're like, oh, what are you doing here, rah, rah, and I just start getting upset. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? This is my country. Of course I can be here. They end up telling, look, you just have to move on, rah, rah. We refused to leave and finished our lunch, of course. But the fact they surrounded us instantly just for sitting there in the car, and instant demanded we get out of the car. What are we doing there? Who are we? It was unbelievable. They're not law enforcement officers. They're just random blokes on the street.
Maybe they thought they had a beard and stuff. Maybe they thought that you were Muslim because they're very protective of their community and their schools. No, seriously, at Jewish schools they have security. So maybe they thought if one of us looked Muslim, they probably thought maybe you were Muslim or something.
Yeah, I think they knew that I was friends with Neil, man. That's what I reckon it was. I reckon they thought I knew. Yeah, they knew I was hanging out with him. They said, there it is. Where's good Nick?
With the stalking stuff, the calls that you made, were they constant? Was it like 2 phone calls? How many calls was it?
No, it was like, I figured it out to be like altogether 13 calls.
How long? Like a week?
Connected? No, it was like 2 months. But
Okay.
no, 1 month. So 1 month and then all right, so 13 calls, 2 of them connected, yeah?
Oh.
This is why I was like so defiant. This isn't stalking. I called him like twice. But 2 calls connected. And then there was like 11 calls that didn't connect. So he turned his phone off or cancelled it. Yeah, so there's 11 calls that didn't connect, and there was 2 that did. And there was 1 voicemail that was left on a straighter. And, that was it, yeah? And it was like a year later. So what they did is the police were waiting for me to make more calls. That's what they were doing. They were waiting. Make more, make the punishment worse.
Yeah.
But I didn't do
enough
that.
rope to hang yourself.
He had a fucking issue with me, man. That's for sure. I'm from St Kilda Police Station, but in John Saffron's book, because John Saffron met up with this rabbi that I was allegedly stalking, he said that St Kilda cop pulled up his wife for speeding, and he let her off a ticket because he felt bad about the racism that I because he worked that case with me and shit.
Oh bullshit!
So, yeah, no shit. I don't know will towards this guy, but I just think it was like pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like menacing as they like to portray. Like I'm talking in an accent, like, oh, you cannot the spoon bender, my son bar mitzvah. Like it was like a full joke and shit, man. Like, but
and you were younger, like fuck, It's just a young bloke fucking around.
I wasn't that young. I think I was like 28.
I was trying to help, bro.
So you got rated for the Jewish thing. You got rated for Milo 5. What was the third time you got rated?
I got rated for something many years ago for an assault, like 5.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, I've been rated a few times.
Yeah.
It's never fun. Milo raid was actually quite pleasant. It wasn't actually that bad, but And it was actually like 8 cops with guns on their hips, and they were kind of pretty. They didn't handcuff me. This is why I find it funny. Like I was being raided for an assault. They didn't handcuff me.
Any female cops that
handcuffed that pregnant chick?
Were there any female cops that raided you at all?
Yeah.
And if there was, did you find it sexy?
But the thing is, I've got this theory. Yeah, I've got a theory. Because there's a lot of things I don't say on videos, like there's a mountain of shit I don't say, because it kind of like, it's not my story and shit like that. But I have a theory. There was a cop that come to my house that day during the raid. There was about 14 of them. 14? Probably about 12 or 14. And I was out having a smoke, yeah? And in the back, you can kind of get into the back at this house. He's like, Erickson, come open the door. I said, oh, I'll put out the cigarette and I'm going to open the door. Pretty nice little boys. They come in, but there was a cop there. He goes, hey, Erickson, you remember me and shit? I'm like, nah. He goes, when you're 18 and shit. So when I was 18, I bashed some dude, yeah? There's good reason, too, for this. And he ended up going in an ambulance. I was convicted for that. But it was fucked up, this guy. But anyway, this cop was the one who arrested me that night when I was 18. He's like, you still got that tattoo and shit? I said, yeah, I have a massive tattoo on my stomach. And then I started thinking, why is this guy involved in this raid? I don't get it. You know, because you know where he would have been from, Jared. It was like somewhere in the northern suburbs.
Yeah.
Why is he involved? And then I started thinking, I started talking to some other nationalists. Mate, they got a task force, bro. I reckon they have a task force that target nationalists. Like, and he's involved because he kind of has some personal knowledge of me, or like has dealt with me before. You know, that's what we're all
Yeah.
You know, people that
makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense, 100%. Yeah, well, it's a small. Yeah, why else would he be there?
Yeah, not a bad bloke.
And he brings.
But
yeah, well, yeah. What is it? ACAB? All cops are bastards. All cops are bastards. Oh, is it really? Is it really? Is that left wing shit? There you go. That shows how much I understand about what wings what, man. I just said the shit.
I've got hair, Tim. I've got hair. Where's the front of your hair? Tim's got a massive receding hairline that's going all the way up.
Like that? Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Worse.
That's worse.
Keep going.
That's good.
Keep going. But look, I'm not very pro police. Like I think it depends which government's in charge.
Yeah, at the moment they're not doing the right thing. I'm with them when they're protecting the community, but at the moment they're not. You know.
Well, I've seen. I remember I saw an interview on YouTube of a former police officer who went to an anti-lockdown protest, and he was interviewed, and he basically said that when he was a police officer back in the 80s and 90s, they used to arrest, criminals and shit. Now they're just giving normal people a hard time. So, and you even have current members who have sort of quit in the last couple of years. So people get disillusioned, man. So they're doing the police force and they see what it's like and they leave. So I'll never subscribe to that ACAB stuff. Even though a lot of them are bad, there's always some that just remain silent because they don't want to lose their job, or who actually do say something and they quit, or they look back on their career and they're disappointed in what happened. So just to be aware, there are always good people in any organisation, but unfortunately, the higher up and the rank and file are absolute idiots.
Yeah, and look, people have to learn to take their stand somewhere. And I deal with a lot of coppers, with the gyms and with martial arts, and have over the years. And Neil knows, we actually, like when Neil was talking organising the St Kilda protest, we had a couple of police officers that were rural police officers, obviously won't say from where or whom, but they were interested in coming to the protest, and they couldn't make it that day, but they did say if Neil was to hold another one, they would be interested in being there. So there are police officers that are, on the right side of it, especially out in these country areas. But at the end of the day, when you know you're doing the wrong thing, where's your principles? That's
The thing is,
I feel for these army kids here on the border. They've signed 4-year contracts. A lot of these kids, they're 18, 19. They're standing there like fucking deer with their eye in their headlights. They don't know what they're doing there. They don't believe in what they're doing there, and they're stuck there because they can't just quit. The police, I feel no sympathy for. That at the moment they're all bastards, mate, because they're all doing the wrong thing. But You know, the Air Force and the Army kids that are forced to be there, they're a different kettle of fish.
Yeah, and I've always struggled with that. Like, if you're a cop and you know that what you're doing is just unfair and wrong, and you still do it because someone else has told you, someone higher up, is that ethical?
Well, it's like the military, man. They have to do it. You know?
Yeah, like,
and the thing you've got to understand, Stefan, the cops today aren't the same cops of yesteryear, yeah? These cops...
Not even close.
They're drunk.
Like,
They're drunk. They just don't follow orders.
These women cops can't even shoot the new Glocks now. They couldn't even shoot the revolvers, man. Like, their fingers were so weak. You know,
especially
like
the PSO.
The
PSOs especially just absolute drop kicks, mate. Generally speaking.
PSOs are the rejects of the police, the ones who can't get in.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to go. I've got an early start tomorrow, man. Yeah, I've got to get out and fucking paint.
Thanks
Not
for
fun.
On, Stefan and shit, and Jared, and Noel.
Always my pleasure. You know that, mate. We'll do it again soon.
No worries. See you later.
Cheers, boys.
See you.
All right. See you, mate.